Srinagar, the biggest city in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, was one of the first stops for the Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he got his election campaign going for India's general elections. There was heavy security presence in the city that has been closely monitored for decades. Police and soldiers patrolled the streets and carried out spot checks before the Prime Minister made his pitch to voters.
जम्मू कश्मीर केवल एक क्षेत्र नहीं है, ये जम्मू कश्मीर भारत का मस्तक।
5 years ago, soon after winning the 2019 elections, Prime Minister Modi and his government drastically altered the fate and future of Kashmiris.
And history was created in the state of Jammu and Kashmir as the Modi government implemented its biggest move in a way on the Kashmir issue. After days of furious speculation and build-up, Home Minister Amit Shah arrived this morning to Parliament and told Parliament that he was revoking Article 370.
So what's changed since then? And how will Kashmiris be voting this general elections? Let's first take a look at how we got to this point.
On the 5th of August 2019, the Indian government, aided by a presidential decree, repealed Article 370 from the country's constitution. So what was Article 370? Article 370 conferred special rights to Jammu and Kashmir. It granted autonomy to the region to allow them to make their own laws in all matters except finance, defense, foreign affairs and communications. They also established a separate constitution and a separate flag and denied property rights to anyone who was from outside the region. In August 2019, the Modi government repealed this act and split Kashmir into two regions, Jammu and Kashmir in the west and Ladakh in the east, to be ruled directly from New Delhi.
The abrogation meant that the region no longer had its own flag, constitution and criminal code.
The BJP-led government believed the special autonomy had hampered development in a region that has endured decades of violence.
देश के सामने 70 साल से एक और बड़ा चैलेंज था, जिसे कुछ दिन पहले भारत ने फेयरवेल दे दिया है।
Abolishing Article 370 was a key promise Narendra Modi made ahead of his second election win in 2019. It was an easy one to keep, thanks to a clear majority in both houses of parliament. Last December, the constitutional change was upheld by India's Supreme Court.
Today, the Honorable Supreme Court has cleared all the confusion, and it has clearly said that Jammu and Kashmir is integral part of India.
The highest court of justice in India has set aside everything, has set aside the constitution, democracy, rule of law. They have favored the majoritarianism. They have favored Modi and Amit Shah.
Removal of Article 370 means that now non-Kashmiris are permitted to buy land in the valley. Many in the region have voiced concerns that this is an attempt at demographic change in India's only Muslim majority region.
It has also had a big impact on local politicians in Kashmir, including former Cabinet Minister Agha Saidullah Mehdi.
After 2019, I feel like being forced into slavery. I feel like forced into an idea I do not resonate with.
Since the removal of Article 370, the BJP hopes to gain a foothold in the valley in this election. But how does Kashmir feel about these elections?
The central government, present dispensation in Delhi, that has been the worst. Repressive, denying the non-Muslim majority state in India right to exist as a state, then complete denial of electoral elected form of government. So maybe in reaction they vote just to go for lesser evils, which may be local parties.
It is a humiliation. If it's a fair and free poll, I think people this time are wanting to come out to vote and send a message to the BJP.
परे साहब, मैं पूछूं आपसे, आपको इन इलेक्शन से क्या उम्मीद है? आप क्या सोचते हैं जम्मू कश्मीर क्या चाहता है अब इलेक्शंस के रूप में?
इलेक्शन के मुतालिक हम यही सोचते हैं कि इंसान ये जो इलेक्शन है पिछले बहुत साल से यहाँ नहीं हुआ है, अब लोगों की यही उम्मीदें हैं कि अब यहाँ इलेक्शन होना चाहिए। हाँ, उनकी उम्मीद भी यही है, लोगों की उम्मीद यही है कि इलेक्शन से ये जो बदलाव आएगा तो उनको नौकरियाँ मिलेंगी, यहाँ डेवलप हो जाएगी, तो ये लोगों का मैनिफेस्टो है।
Alongside its mosques, mausoleums, and Islamic shrines, Kashmir is also home to a variety of Hindu temples which serve as a marker to its Hindu population. The region is home to a comparatively smaller Hindu community that is referred to as Kashmiri Pandits. They were forced to leave the region amid escalating violence against them in the 1990s. Sanjay Tikku runs the Kashmiri Pandit Sangharsh Samiti, a body of Kashmiri Pandits that did not leave the region in the 1990s.
I'm living in the valley for the last 32 years. I have gone through the worst terrorism period in the valley. And we stayed back in the valley despite of that, along with other 808 families. But unfortunately, the government, present government, I don't think is now very much keen about the KP's rehabilitation back in the valley. They say that 30,000 Kashmiri Pandits have been rehabilitated back in the valley after 2019, after application of Article 3, which is totally lie, what you call the white lie.
Political scientist Noor Ahmed Baba says he expects a higher voter turnout in this election.
There's a degree of polarization. So in that sense, I feel that this time, people will be coming out to vote in larger numbers.
Voting has been organized in 5 phases throughout the Union Territory. Kashmiri politician Agharullah Mehdi says the voter turnout and the results will ultimately reveal the faith people have here in the government.
It's a catch-22 situation for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, so to say. Needs to be seen, and this parliament election will answer that question. On one hand, you have this sense of betrayal. You do not have the trust in the functioning of the democracy, in the institutions of the democracy, that gradual and ultimate decline of the idea of democracy in Jammu and Kashmir.
This general election won't be the only one that Kashmiris will be voting in this year. The Supreme Court of India has also mandated that Kashmir's local election be held before September this year.
And that will be another chance for Kashmiris to have a say over a region that's hoping for peace against the backdrop of an uncertain future.